Brandon Girtz joins me once again, this time as he prepares to face Myles Jury in the co-main event at Bellator 239. Brandon, how are you?
What up, man? I'm doing great, bro. How you been?
Really good. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. A lot of MMA talk to get to. Before we do that, I do want to touch upon the devastating news in the sports world. You're the first guy that I've interviewed since Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the others passed away in that tragic helicopter crash. I don't know if you follow basketball or not, but how did that affect you?
I don't follow basketball per se, but obviously Kobe Bryant, he's a legend. It obviously don't affect me personally, but that's somebody of our time. That's a great person. You can't go in a household and be like Kobe Bryant and someone not be like the basketball player. And people know him. Of our era, he's a big icon, a big sports icon. So a lot of us, in the sports world, look up to him. So it's a tragedy, man.
Yeah, no doubt. For me as a kid, growing up, basketball was my passion. I actually played in college a couple of years. I was a point guard, and I'm from New England. I'm a Celtics fan, and the Celtics' most heated rival is the Lakers. And Kobe played for the Lakers. I never liked Kobe. He was beating the Celtics, and so even for me, just as a human being and as a sports fan, it hit me harder than I thought it would. And then you look on ESPN, you turn on all the news outlets, and it's just a really emotional time. And it's interesting just to get the different takes from athletes such as yourself. So I appreciate you talking about that. This camp, this fight's right around the corner. It's now February, so we're just under 3 weeks away from your next fight. How's it been?
It's been good, man. It's been good, dude. It's been a little different camp. We're focusing on some different stuff, but it's let me say I'm healthy, so it's good. It's good.
Anything new or different? Have you had any new training partners in?
No, not really. Same training partners for the most part. Teams change, different people come in, different bodies and stuff like that. So obviously there's different guys giving me some different looks, and that's good. And I got my coach Luke is we've changed a little bit of our my main coach is Jake Ramos, but we've also brought on another coach, Luke, on our team, and I've been working on some different things with him. It's been a little bit different, so it's been fun.
Nice. Now, obviously, everyone knows your last two fights back to back were canceled. You tore your bicep, if I'm not mistaken. How's your health? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, that's the thing. It's this camp's been a little different. We're gonna make it to this fight 100%. So we focus on some stuff. I've been doing a lot of I don't want to say recovery things, but I've been tweaking a lot of things to geared towards keeping the body healthy. And I've been doing that throughout the years. But this camp was a big that was the big direction. So been I go to a place called PT, and I work with that, strengthening my arm. My arm's strong now, but we're more working on strengthening it so no injuries come back ever. Not just once I get an injury, strengthen it. Working on making sure I'm keeping everything healthy.
Definitely. That's good to hear. Now, it's by the time you step into the cage and face Myles here, it's going to be almost a year since we've seen you compete. And obviously, as I mentioned, you had those two fights back to back that were canceled against Paul Redmond and then Jon Tuck. How frustrating has that been for you? You must be itching to get back into the cage.
Man, it was very frustrating. I mean, it was 2 days before I was supposed to get on a plane when I got hurt. And like you said, a year. A year's not. I don't want to be fighting once a year, and that's what it's been for the last couple of years. It's been once a year, and that's not what I want to do. I mean, I'm trying to fight way more than that. This year, I'm looking to get 3 to 4. One time a year is not covering my itch. It's I'm not in the sport to sit on the shelf.
Now, you'll be 35 years old this year. You've already accomplished quite a bit as a mixed martial artist. What more do you want to do? How long do you envision seeing yourself compete at this highest of level? I mean, are you going to fight until you're 40 or past that? What do you think?
What's funny is I always told myself I'd fight till I'm 35, when I first started, which is crazy, but I still feel good. With these injuries, obviously my body's taken. I mean, I've had injuries, but I've had one fight a year, and a lot of some of my years been, getting the body back to healthy, not exactly taking damage on it. And I feel good right now. People always ask how much longer are you gonna fight, and I don't know that right now. When my skills start to diminish or my paychecks start to diminish, that's when I'm gonna step away. Right now, I've felt great the last few years, except for these freak injuries, and that's what's really sucked. I haven't been able to get a roll on because one thing happens and now I'm recovering from an injury versus going in and fighting more than once a year, so that's my goal right now. Get a few fights in this year, until my skills start diminishing, and that's when I'll hang it up. I'm not going to be one that goes out there and fights as a lesser fighter than I am right now, and I feel like every year my skills have been going up. I've just had a couple freak incidents, and I've had to deal with those. But skill wise, every year I felt like I've been getting better. My knowledge of the sport has been getting more, and just becoming a better fighter.
Obviously, your last performance against Sayed Awad was amazing. That was a fight of the year, or at least one of the nominees, in my opinion. But I am curious, when you mentioned, obviously, your skill set is evolving. You're becoming a better mixed martial artist each year that passes. But when you look at your body 10 years ago versus now, do you feel a difference in training? I mean, you and me are roughly the same age. And sometimes I wake up, and I'm like, man, I slept wrong. I can't move right, which is wild, But I'm just curious, do you ever notice that in training?
Absolutely. There's stuff different now. I mean, I've been an athlete now, for county wrestling and fighting for a few decades. It's been a while. I've been putting stuff on my body. So of course you're gonna have those. And like I tell everybody, we're not gonna be the same we were, a few years ago as 5, 10. We're changing. You're gonna have to deal with stuff. So I absolutely deal with some of those things. But I had injuries when I was freaking 18, 20 that I had to deal with, and pains that I woke up with. Like, I have some pains now that don't have pains I had when I was 20, So I look at that, and like I said, I'll know when enough is enough, like when the pain is stopping me from actually doing what I do well.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully that's not going to happen for a while, because it's always a pleasure watching you step inside the cage and compete. Now, you and I have talked on a number of occasions just about the landscape of the Bellator lightweight division. A guy you fought, former champion Michael Chandler, lost the belt to Pitbull recently. When you look at the 155ers out there, the guys that are in the top 5, top 10, how do you feel you're stacking up with those top guys? Do you feel like you're right on that doorstep? You go ahead and you beat Myles Jury, you might be in line for a title shot at some point soon?
Absolutely. I just feel like there's a few people up there. I still feel like, Chandler's one I'm aiming for, and Chandler, I feel like Chandler and Ben Henderson still have business to take care of. So I see them two fighting soon. And then there's Primus, he's up there and he's fighting the same weekend as me, and then you got the other Pitbull up there, So other than that, there's not many names I'm seeing up above mine. I've been in Bellator freaking 7, 8 years now, and I've been fighting the top competition the whole time I've been there. So I look at, a couple more fights. I'm right there at the title. That's my goal right now.
Obviously, your sights are set on Myles Jury first and foremost right now. But do you hope to maybe get a rematch with Tuck or Redman? I got to imagine maybe you do, just because of or maybe you don't. Who knows? That's why I asked the question.
I mean, Tuck, we were only scheduled to fight each other for like 2 weeks, because he was a replacement for Redman. Redman, I would fight, because I like to go to Ireland, and that I know that would be a fight we'd do in Ireland, and that'd be cool, So, and I'd like to fight him for some reason. I don't know why. I have an itch to fight him, and we were scheduled to fight each other for over, a month or two. So that was kind of a person I was preparing for. Tuck, like I said, we were only scheduled for each other for a little bit, so it's not like I had him in my mind. Redman I had in my mind for a little bit, so he's still kind of there, when I get a name, I start picturing him a lot, and I start picturing the face I'm going to beat up. So I had his face is it still in my mind a little bit. So I would like to do that fight.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, Jury, obviously coming from the UFC, he's got to be one of the bigger name fighters that you've had the pleasure of stepping in the cage and competing against. I mean, he did fairly well in the UFC. Now Bellator, I'm sure he's feeling like he wants to make a run at that title shot. What does a win over Jury do for you at this point of your career?
I think it just gives us some notoriety. Like you said, he's a big name. He had a great streak in the UFC. I think he was damn near top 10, in the UFC at one moment. And he's a tough kid. He's a tough kid. And like you said, I think that right there would put me more on the top of fighting for that title.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for this fight. Stylistically, how do you feel like you guys match up? Is this a fight that is going to be on the feet, or do you feel like this potentially could hit the ground? We could see your wrestling and BJJ skills.
I think it's a matchup of two different styles. I think he's got a whole different style. I like to call him, he's a point fighter. He's out there trying to score. He's trying to score. I'm out there fighting, dude. I like to make it dirty. I've gotten the name of a brawler of some sorts. I like to create. I like to create a little bit of chaos while I'm in there. I make it a fight, and he's out there. He's out there pointing it a little bit, and he tries to play his distance and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a night of who can employ their game plan. Really, if I sat back and I tried to play the point game with him, I see him winning that fight. But if I come in there and I make it a fight, like you said, is it on the feet or is it on the ground? It can go either way with me when I'm coming forward. I'm gonna look to put it on him. I'm gonna look to put him on his head.
That's one of the main reasons why you're one of my favorite fighters to watch compete is because of your style. You get after it. You're aggressive. You're looking for a finish. Do you envision yourself knocking him out in this fight? Do you feel like you could catch him early, or is this going to be a fight where maybe it's a dogfight and you win a decision?
I absolutely think I'm going to finish him. That's the mindset I go into every fight. I'm looking at one. It's a 1 round fight every round. So I'm going in there. I'm looking to finish. I'm like I've told people, I go in there thinking he's trying to get through me to get to my family. That's the mindset I go in every time. So I'm not out there trying to point with him. I'm not playing pitter patter. I'm going out there for the kill. And that's what I'm looking for. You can see it when I throw punches. I'm looking to put somebody away, and that's my mindset every time I step in there.
Now, let's say you do go in, you get this victory, and it's an emphatic victory. You finish him like you said you're going to do. When would you like to fight next? As long as you're healthy, are we going to see you May, June, or are you looking to push a little bit after that? What is your head thinking?
Yeah, as soon as possible. I'll take a little break because I haven't had a break here in the last year. It's been, I had that fight scheduled and I was working hard for that, and then I got injured, and it ain't no break after you get injured. It's work. It's been work. So I do want a little bit of a vacation, but not long, because like I said, I've already sat out a year, and the year before that it was already a year. So I'm not looking to stay long. I want to be active this year. And I want to make a run for that title, and to do that, I need to be active.
Now, this fight's in Oklahoma. Are you anticipating a big following, a lot of tickets sold, a lot of support here for this one for you?
Yeah, I fought there a few times, and every time I've been there, I think it's been sold out, So it's a good crowd, and like I said, I've been there a few times, so that they know me there. I've had some good performances there.
Nice. Well, again, I can't wait to see you step back in the cage, Brandon. It's been way too long. Glad to hear that you're healed up and feeling fresh and ready to go. Always a pleasure talking to you. Before I let you go, anyone you want to thank or any sponsors you may have? As always, the floor is yours.
Just thanking my team at Genesis and my coach, Jake Ramos and Luke Cadell. And then, thank some of my sponsors, CBD dermaceuticals. Everybody knows about CBD, especially in the athlete world right now. It's the biggest thing, and it's not us just pushing it. It actually works, And then I got exterior EX Exteriors. They're persons that done my house, man, and it's pretty dope. And then Leo Rivera is the people that keep me fresh. So, and then like I said earlier, Synops PT, man, that's been a big add-on to my camp and people that keeping me healthy and step in there on the 21st.
One last question I forgot to ask. Are you going to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday, and who's your pick?
Shit, the Chiefs, man, the Chiefs. And I'm not like, oh, it's the Chiefs for sure. That's going to be a freaking game. That's going to be a freaking game. I just think Mahomes is the man, and I think that offense is so high octane, and I think he's going to be the cooler cat out there, you know, and that guy's incredible, you know. So I wouldn't bet against him, but the 49ers are a hell of a team too, man. I think we're going to see one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in a while.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Are you going somewhere for the fight, or are you just having people over? What are your plans?
We're going over to Justin Gaethje. He's having people over, so we're gonna go over there. It'll be a fun day, that's for sure.